Oh my goodness. Hello guys and welcome back to yet another video. We are reacting to game week 42 playing out in the Championship. There's only 4 weeks to go for most of the Championship teams now. And what a decisive week this has been in the promotion race, the playoff race, and in the relegation sandwich discussion. There's so much to talk about, so we are here to talk about it. Guys, let me know your thoughts first of all down in the comments. Let me know if you went to a game over the weekend. Let me know if you're happy, unhappy with your results. Be sure to support the video. It takes 2 seconds, so let's do it. 2,000 likes. It takes 2 seconds, so please do hit the thumbs up button. A massive thank you to those of you that do, and make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already. We cover the Championship every week on this channel, and we are in the homeward stretch now. We will cover it till the bitter end, so do subscribe and do join us on Monday night. We are doing a live stream for Hull City versus Coventry City, a massive game in the playoff and relegation battles. But let's talk about what's happened in this EFL Championship weekend so far. So then let's start at the top, and let's start at the very top. Let's dive straight into that automatic promotion race where we have seen something unfold that I didn't think we would. I mean, look at that, a 5-point gap. Let's start with Burnley, Friday night, 2-1 winners against Norwich City. Great goal from Hannibal, a deflected Anthony goal. They go 2-0 up. Norwich pull one back. We know that Norwich like a goal. They're good goal scorers, but Burnley doing what they do best, grinding that result out, and they went up to 88 points on Friday night. They set the tempo for Leeds United and Sheffield United to go and get wins to keep on their tails. And so then we move on to the Saturday 12:30 early kickoffs where we saw Leeds United and Sheffield United both in action. Leeds United 2-1 winners over Preston, as I predicted. There you go, I got another prediction right. I thought Leeds United would have the lion's share of this game. I thought they'd dominate, and that's what they did, but I also thought that they wouldn't make it easy for themselves. They wouldn't quite get that killer goal to see this one through, and I knew it would be a nail-biting finish, but the most important thing is 3 points. We already know that Leeds United's goal difference is good enough. Just stick 3 points on the board, and they did it with that 2-1 win. But the main story is what went down 350 miles away at Plymouth, at Home Park. Plymouth 2, Sheffield United 1. Wow, we have seen slips in this automatic promotion race, but this looks like the most decisive one so far. Sheffield United were top of the league a week ago. Who saw them losing 3 games in a row to Oxford, Millwall and Plymouth? And like I say, look at that 5-point gap and throw in the goal difference. You know, Leeds United almost 6 points clear of Sheffield United, so too are Burnley. That goal difference is not going to swing with 4 games to go, and it's starting to look like we might have our top 2. I'm not going to say this is it then. This is definitely it. This is over, because this is the Championship. We've seen things change so much in the last few weeks. We've seen these top teams really slipping up, but this is really decisive. This is the biggest gap we've had so far, and with so few games remaining, it really does feel decisive, doesn't it? One thing that is definitely in Sheffield United's favour now is the fact they still have to play Burnley. If they didn't have that game, it would look a bit more cut and dry. But Sheffield United have that chance to beat them, and they have to. They have to. I think Sheffield United have to win all 4 games now. And the problem is, it might still not be enough. If Sheffield United win all 4 games, they need Burnley to obviously lose to them, and Burnley to lose in another game as well. A draw for Burnley, yeah, see, like I say, if they land level on points, the goal difference is better for Burnley and Leeds. If Burnley win 3, they're over the line. If they win 2, including the Sheffield United game, they're over the line as well, aren't they? So Burnley, nearly there. Leeds United, nearly there. Massive wins this weekend. It's just all gone wrong at the worst time possible for Sheffield United. They have imploded. Chris Wilder's been going at the fans. The fans not happy now as well. And I wonder, could they go into the playoffs with a very negative sort of mindset? Because, to be honest, whoever was going to finish 3rd, it was going to be hard on them, because there's not a lot to separate this top 3. Do bear in mind that Sheffield United have had 2 points deducted as well. But to go into the playoffs with this kind of form wouldn't be great. And bear in mind, whoever finishes 6th will probably have won their last couple of games to have secured 6th place, because that is a real scramble at the minute. So the momentum would maybe be with 6th place, but let's not quite get to that point just yet. Sheffield United still have a chance of top 2. But it's a thin chance now. Leeds and Burnley, well done. Massive wins for Blades. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, guys. So, Sunderland still fourth. They lost actually to Swansea, and that has all but mathematically meant they can't make the top two anymore. We didn't think they would anyway, but there you go. Let's move on to the playoff race, where Bristol City are still fifth. They weren't going to change places unless Middlesbrough won, of course, and they lost. That was the only way they could have moved places, because Coventry haven't played yet. As I say, look out for that Coventry game on Monday night. We will live stream it on the channel. Let's start with Bristol City, though. A 1-1 draw at QPR. Robins fans, do share your thoughts. Is this a good result or a bad result? Because I'm looking at it down the middle. I think, in a way, a bit of an opportunity missed. Just imagine if Bristol City had won that game, they would nearly be there. But if they'd lost, 3 points above seventh, that draw could just nudge them over the line, I suppose. Look, considering they came from behind and we like them more at home, I'm going to try and spin it as a bit more of a positive, but I'm not a Bristol City fan, so I'm open to your own interpretations on that result. Like I say, they came from behind, they get a draw against a QPR team that have been pulling out a couple of okay results lately. Bristol City will be fairly happy with the results around them. Middlesbrough not making any progress, but they've given Coventry the opportunity to overtake them with a win on Monday. Let's just briefly mention Coventry. Obviously, we haven't played yet. From my perspective as a Coventry fan, the results were a bit mixed. Could have done with Bristol City losing, could have done with West Brom not winning, but Bristol City didn't win, which means with a win on Monday, we can go fifth. West Bromwich Albion, well, we play them next after Hull, so here's how I'm seeing it. If Coventry beat Hull on Monday, we're nearly there. A 5-point gap with 4 games to go. We're close. We're close. If we don't, then I'm feeling nervous still, because West Brom, if they beat us on the Friday, could overtake us, because even if we draw with Hull, they'd overtake us on goal difference if West Brom, like I say, beat us on the Friday. So a big game on Monday now for Coventry. Feels like a must win, but everyone's saying that about every game at the minute, so we will see. Let's talk about West Brom, though. A really good recovery. 2-1 winners over Watford, and they raced into a 2-goal lead. Watford pulled one back. West Brom saw it through. They needed to win. They just needed to after that defeat to Bristol City. And with Bristol City drawing and Coventry not playing yet, I think West Brom fans can certainly think this is definitely back on. And they play Coventry next. So long as Coventry don't beat Hull, West Brom can say this is still in their hands. So, who knows? There's been plenty of twists and turns, and they might still do it. But we do prefer them at home, and the pressure is on them to go and win at Coventry. Middlesbrough, I thought they'd lose 1-0 to Millwall, if I'm being honest. I'll come on to Millwall in a second. I did get a few Middlesbrough fans commenting on the predictions video saying, "Oh, you're only saying that because it works out well for Coventry." No, I said it because I thought it would happen, 1-0, and it did. It doesn't really help Coventry because Millwall are still in this. We'll come on to them in a second. I personally would have probably preferred a draw. For Middlesbrough, they have got a nice little run of fixtures now, though, I will say. They've got a difficult game out the way. 2 points off the playoffs. They need Coventry to not beat Hull. And then they play Plymouth at home, which you would imagine they win, but who knows. Sheffield Wednesday away, Norwich at home. If you can get at least 7 points, you're going into that Coventry game on the final day, probably with a chance. If you don't get 6, if you get less than 6, I think Middlesbrough will be out of it before that Coventry game. So at a minimum, need to win 2 of the next 3. And then Millwall also level on points. Their goal difference does have them just slightly lower than West Brom and Middlesbrough, but they are the form team here. Like I say, I backed them 1-0. They got the win. Massive win, really, isn't it? At a sold-out Den. It's that time of season where it's like playoff fever, and the Millwall fans are really believing. You look at those fixtures: Blackburn, Swansea, I think Norwich. I would not be surprised if Millwall win all 3 of them. And then I know they've got Burnley on the final day, but Burnley could be up. And that could be a nice fixture for Millwall if they're the only team with something to play for in that game. So, I don't know. They have to at least win 3. 69 points could be enough. Their goal difference isn't great, but I've said this season, 70 will do it. 69 could. So Millwall are in with a chance, but have to beat Blackburn as well to still keep moving forwards. And once again, Millwall fans will have an eye on Coventry on Monday. Blackburn, I don't know. I mean, look, realistically, I don't think many of us looking at this table think Blackburn will do it. But if you're a Blackburn fan watching this, I don't blame you for trying to have faith and believing in the chance that you could do it. It was a great win at Luton, great character to do it. I know the form's been terrible, but to go there 1-0 and to keep the clean sheet and the win with 10 men as well is very impressive. And, you know, with Luton having so much to play for, I'm very impressed with Blackburn. So well done. They have to win all 4 games, though. And even then, 68 points might not be enough. But mathematically, we can still say they're in this. Let's just see what Coventry do on Monday. The same for Watford and for Swansea. Yeah, probably not going to be enough. 66 points if Swansea win all their games. They've been in great form. Let's touch on Swansea. They've been in great form, but they've just timed it too late. If this good run for Swansea started 5 games before, then maybe they could have snuck in there, but it just looks like they might have done it too late. But a good win at Sunderland, 1-0 winners at the weekend. And let's move down to the bottom half. So that's the playoff race done. Like I say, join us on Monday night. Coventry have to get something against Hull. Speaking of Hull, they're in 20th place. Let's go through this relegation picture. Let's colour in Norwich and Sheffield Wednesday. I think they're both fine with 53. Realistically, I think QPR and Preston are probably okay. I've said 48 or 49 will do it this season. But let's just see. Let's just keep them in the discussion while they're mathematically not over the line yet. It could be anyone. Plymouth have a chance. And there's only 3 points between 24th and 21st. And then, what, 4 points between 22nd and 19th? Whichever way you cut this is really open. And the fascinating thing is, because there's so many teams involved, there's still so many games where a lot of these teams are going to play each other. So I think the tide is still going to rise. And I'm sticking with 48, maybe just being enough. 49 possibly. Let's start with QPR. 15th place, 1-1 draw against Bristol City. They're pretty much there. I'm just going to keep them there. If QPR lose all 4 games, there's a chance they could go down, but I don't think that'll happen. I think they're okay, so I won't touch on them for too long. Same with Preston, obviously lost 2-1 to Leeds. Fairly decent fight and character. I think the fact that they let that late goal in against Cardiff on the Tuesday means that Preston can't be counted out of it just yet. But we think they're okay, if you know what I mean. Look at that, 7 points, 4 games to go. Cardiff and Derby both have to win next week to really try and drag some of these in. I think Preston are okay. Oxford are a team we've spoken about and been a bit concerned about. When you're looking at the relegation battle and you see teams in the bottom 3 or around it going on good little runs, you're looking for a sitting duck to be that team that goes down. And for a lot of people, we thought it was Oxford. Myself in particular, a couple of weeks ago I thought, oh, I don't know, Oxford United, their form has dried up, but what a week for them. 6 points in 3 games is absolutely huge. I think they're pretty much there now. They're nearly there. We think 48 might be enough. 1 more draw and they're probably okay. I must say, if someone had said to me before these 3 games that Oxford are going to get 6 points, I wouldn't have thought they'd beat both of the Sheffield teams. It was a great win against Sheffield United. They then lost the QPR game at home, which was a bit bizarre. And then they've gone and won at Sheffield Wednesday when we know that Oxford are not great away. But I suppose Sheffield Wednesday are not great at home. So honestly, well done. Massive pat on the back. I would love to see Oxford do it. And I think they've nearly done it now. Yeah, 1 more draw maybe. They've still got to play Cardiff. That's the game which could see things open back up. So just chuck on another draw. 1 more win and you're definitely safe. Stoke City. We need to talk about them. Stoke City, massive win at Cardiff City. Let's first of all touch on the fact that this game was delayed and suspended for a while because there was an emergency in the crowd. Just want to say I wish whoever was involved all the best and a speedy recovery, because that's not what we want to see. Someone was taken ill. Obviously the game got delayed. It did carry on. What impact it had on the game, I don't know. I wasn't there, but like I say, I wish whoever was involved all the best. What did happen though is Stoke popped up with an 85th minute winner, and that is huge. You think in particular because Stoke had conceded a late goal against Luton, they needed to get at least a draw here. They've gone and won it. And we know that Stoke have difficult games coming. They've still got to go to Ellen Road. That is a huge, huge result. Maybe the most decisive goal we've seen in the bottom half of the Championship this week, because it was a winner, not just an equaliser, but a winner. So well done Stoke, nearly there, 5 points, 4 to go, we'll see. Portsmouth, another late goal, and fair play, I'm happy for them, because I thought it was cruel the way they conceded a late goal against Coventry on Wednesday, and they popped up with a last minute equaliser to draw with Derby. Quite nuts this game really. You'd think that these games between two teams, Portsmouth and Derby, really down in the mire. Both can't afford to lose, but both need to try and pinch the win. You think it might be a 0-0 or someone pinches it 1-0, but there was quite a lot of action. Pompey obviously miss a penalty inside the first 5 minutes. Colby Bishop had his penalty saved. Jerry Yates pops up with a goal for Derby on 70 minutes. Straight away, Atkinson equalises. He then scores an own goal, and then he scores in stoppage time to snatch a draw. I think maybe a better draw for Pompey, just because they've got the extra 3 points on the board. They're nearly there, aren't they, Pompey? They've still got 2 home games, and if they win one of them, 49 points, we think they're safe. So Pompey edging there, but their form hasn't been great in general. They'll have to see how Hull get on Monday, because Hull City are still there with their game in hand. Let's just quickly touch on Hull. A mixed bag of results. If you're a Hull fan, you're kind of relieved that Luton lost. You're relieved that Cardiff lost, but you're down in 20th now. Goodness me, it's so close. It's so close. If you're a Hull City fan, would you take a draw on Monday night against Coventry? I think Hull would maybe be happier with a draw than Coventry, but we will see, we will see. Derby, obviously on the end of that last minute equaliser against Pompey. So obviously not great for Derby. 2 points definitely dropped, you know, when you're leading going into stoppage time. I still think they're going to be okay. The 0-0 against Burnley, and just you look at the form here. They are one of the form teams over the last few games. I know they've not won in 3, but their ability to keep clean sheets, and I think home form could be crucial here. They've still got a few winnable games. They play Stoke on the final day. If you're a Derby fan and you're not safe by that game, you're hoping that Stoke are, so they don't have much to play for. So that is definitely worth keeping an eye on. Like I say, they'll be relieved that Cardiff have lost and are still below them. There's a 1 point gap there now. I wonder how crucial that could be. Cardiff, they're still very much involved, but that is a bitter blow to lose to Stoke City in such late fashion as well. I mean, obviously Cardiff had their moments. I was watching a little bit of this one. I know the game got delayed. I don't know. If I just quickly get the Cardiff fixtures up in front of me, they need to win 2 more, don't they? They've got Sheffield United away next. Both teams need to win that. I don't know, do Cardiff maybe take a draw there? They've then got Oxford at home, which they definitely have to win that. West Brom at home and then Norwich away. I could still see Cardiff getting 2 more wins. I'm not going to lie, I could still see them getting 2 more wins. I have thought there is a bit of fight about Cardiff. Their sort of never say die mentality, just about scraping draws in some games. You know, obviously they've got the late equaliser against Preston, but that one they've conceded against Stoke, I wonder how costly that could be when we look back at this. Obviously, some teams in front of them have moved forwards, and that's not great. Especially if Hull go and get something against Coventry, then there's only one team really in Cardiff's grasp within the next game. Obviously, the teams behind them, Luton didn't win. Plymouth have made a bit of progress, but realistically, you're not looking at the ones behind you. You're looking at the ones in front of you. For Cardiff to get to 48 points, they just have to get 2 wins. So we will see, but if they lose to Sheffield United first, then 3 games left, needing 2 wins, it's getting desperate, isn't it? Crikey, really decisive. It does look like we might have 3 teams that are standing out here as the potential 3 to drop, with Cardiff, Luton and Plymouth. Let's talk about Luton. Obviously, they lost to Blackburn. That is the worst result for any team down here this weekend. I know Cardiff losing to Stoke was terrible, but Luton were playing Blackburn, who've been in such poor form and down to 10 men for a lot of the game. I know at that point that Blackburn were already winning, but I was thinking at that point, Luton will at least get a draw. They didn't. They didn't even get a single point, and 3 points adrift with a much worse goal difference. Crikey. Crikey. 2 wins might not be enough for Luton. We said Cardiff need to get 2 wins. Luton might need 3. And there's some difficult games coming, and we do need to touch on the fact big players missing. Adebayo, Doughty. Luton Town's next game is away at Derby County. Lose that, and that might be it. Their final 3 games are against 3 teams in the playoff race. Bristol City, Coventry and West Brom, so there's no easy games left for Luton. Let's finally touch on Plymouth, which is a good news story this week. Imagine if they do it when everyone was writing them off. They've never been a million miles away, but they have been the bottom team for a while. So it's kind of like we're caught between ruling them out of it, but still thinking, oh, they could mathematically. That win against Sheffield United is not just 3 points, but 3 points against one of the teams with so much to play for. And you look at a few teams around you, Luton lost, Cardiff lost, Hull City haven't played yet, but Derby drew. Maybe. Just like Luton, Plymouth need to win 3 out of 4. They've got the tiniest margin for error. They can maybe lose 1, but they have to at least win 3, because I wonder if they get 47, I don't know if that'd be enough. I suppose it will come down to what the teams around them do, but I'm not giving up on Plymouth. They have got some difficult games coming. Middlesbrough away, difficult. They've got a lot to play for. Coventry at home, difficult. They've got a lot to play for. And then Leeds on the final day. Maybe Leeds are already up, and that game is quite suitable for Plymouth. We will see. But let's just finish this bit by saying no one is down yet. And from 15th upwards, no one is safe yet. There is a lot to play for. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Like I say, a massive, decisive week in the promotion and relegation races. Let's get your comments down below on your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe. So much to talk about with the EFL Championship right now. Be sure to get involved. Like I say, we're talking all things Championship for the next few weeks. So much going on. Get involved, like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.